Hello and welcome to the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobi Osei. On the Business Dashboard today, inflation for July drops to 9.6%. Also, Bank of Ghana sets up an Office of Ethics and Internal Investigations to strengthen financial sector. And meanwhile, Parliament to probe activities that led to collapse of banks, and managers of ESLA PLC transfer 518 million cedis from debt service reserve account bank to the paying bank. And later in the news, Tullow Oil yet to decide whether to appeal over $254 million fine in favor of Seadrill. Details of these stories and others, including exclusive interviews as well as analysis on the top trending business stories, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Let's take our first story. Now, the Bank of Ghana has set up an Office of Ethics and Internal Investigations as a first line of defense in its strategy to strengthen the financial sector. Now, this was revealed by Information Minister nominee Kojo Nkrumah at a press briefing. Now, citing a four-step strategy by the government to improve the financial sector, Mr. Nkrumah revealed that the office was necessary to allow the Bank of Ghana to internally check itself. The move, he added, had become necessary in view of the lapses within the operations of the regulator that led to the collapse of some 7 banks.
For the last 18 months or so, the Akufo-Addo administration, working with the new leadership of the regulators in the various parts of the financial services sector, has commenced a series of exercises. And the exercises are aimed at achieving about 4 major things. 1, to clean up the inherited challenges. 2, to introduce mechanisms that should forestall a repetition of such challenges in the future. 3, to hold accountable persons involved in unethical and sometimes criminal conduct within the sector. And 4, to strengthen the financial services sector so that we can engender confidence in it and enable it to perform optimally in the near future. Now, the above mentioned objectives are being achieved simultaneously, and it's being done in strict compliance with the legal and international best practices that are known to us. The administration therefore assures shareholders, depositors, and the general public, and all other economic actors that the new leadership across the financial services regulatory sector, as well as the Ministry of Finance, are doing all that is within their power to ensure the full, firm, and final resolution of the challenges that bedeviled the sector. The administration is fully committed to go full throttle and to clean up the sector once and for all. It may be something that will take a bit of time. It will be a difficult and expensive process. Of course, the cleanup is not over yet, but the administration commits that it will be done.
Now, still staying with the subject, Parliament's Finance Committee has scheduled a 3-day hearing to probe the collapse of the some 7 banks. Now, after a crunch meeting in Parliament, the committee scheduled the hearings from 5th to 7th September. On the 1st of August, the Bank of Ghana announced the formation of the Consolidated Bank Ghana Limited after the collapse of some 5 banks. Speaking to City TV after the meeting, Chairman of the Finance Committee, Dr. Marcus Ebiebua, said the committee had written to the Central Bank for relevant documents to aid the committee in the probe.
The committee has decided to hold hearings 5th to 7th September. 5th to 7th September on the collapse of the banks here in Parliament. And so we agreed on the mode of the hearings and who to invite and all other matters. So that's what we have been deliberating on now.
So who is coming? What's the nature of the hearing?
We are now going to write to the Bank of Ghana. That's why we have given ourselves 3 weeks to ask for documentation. And then we'll meet again here on the 30th of August to peruse those documents, and if there are any gaps, we'll ask for more. So we need documentation to form our opinions on what to do. So primarily there's going to be hearings and the dates have been agreed upon, but today we are writing to the bank to ask for all the documents that you people have been feeding on in the media. We cannot work without official documentation. So bring in the Bank of Ghana, the Consolidated Bank, KPMG, PwC, Ministry of Finance. Yeah, we are seeking information. We are not an investigative body, so to speak. We don't have prosecutorial powers. Those are not for us.
Well, turning our attention away from the collapsed bank, inflation for the month of July fell from 10% to 9.6%. This represents a 0.4 percentage drop. Now, inflation measures the change in the general price level of goods and services over time. Speaking at a press conference, the acting government statistician, Bawadia, said the drop was due to the food component in the inflation basket.
According to Mr. Bawadia, the Food and Non-Alcoholic Beverages Group recorded a year-on-year inflation rate of 7.4%. He explained that 6 groups under the Food and Non-Alcoholic Beverages Group recorded inflation rates higher than the group's average.
The downward trend is due to the fact that for the non-food group, the inflation fell by about 0.5 percentage points from a figure of 11.2 to 11.7%. Sorry, to a figure of 10.7%. And this actually is responsible for the fall in the inflation that we observed.
On the non-food group, Mr. Wadia stated that the group recorded a year-on-year inflation rate of 10.7% in July 2018 compared to the 11.2% recorded for June 2018. 5 subgroups recorded year-on-year inflation rates higher than the group's average rate of 10.7%. Clothing and footwear recorded the highest inflation rate of 15.4%, followed by transport with 15%. Recreation and culture with 13.4%, furnishing, households, equipment and routine maintenance with 12.5%, and miscellaneous goods and services with 12%. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, inflation was lowest in the housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuel subgroups. On regional basis, the year-on-year inflation rates ranged from 7.8% in the Upper East region to 11.5% in the Upper West region. Brong Ahafo, Western, Ashanti, Northern and Upper West regions recorded inflation rates above the national average of 9.6%. This means that prices of goods and services in these regions were higher compared to the national average.
Now, as part of measures to enhance tax collection and also resolve misunderstanding in the implementation of tax policies, the Ministry of Finance has inaugurated the Tax Dialogue Initiative to bring all relevant stakeholders together. Now, in addition, the Tax Dialogue is to create a forum for key counterparts in tax administration to meet periodically between the Ghana Revenue Authority and the key stakeholders. There is more in this report by Lawrence Segbefia.
The Tax Dialogue began this year with key stakeholders to develop a system that will, among others, remove challenges in collecting taxes. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, who inaugurated the initiative, was hopeful the dialogue will clear all misunderstandings with the new taxes introduced by government.
And so far, there seems to be some improvement in the speed of payment of VAT refunds. That's responsive from our side, but the VAT penetration is also very low, and we need to get over that. Payment of due VAT refunds through bank transfers instead of checks seems to be going on well. Development of tracking arrangements for requests for private ruling letters to ensure prompt responses. And development of an institutional database for tax rulings to avoid duplicating and conflicting. Some progress is being made. The team also participated in the discussions and made inputs into the revenue proposals for our mid-year budget review.
In the mid-year budget review presented to Parliament in July, government introduced a number of new tax measures, including luxury vehicle levy, the 2.5% education levy, to replace the 2.5% VAT assigned to Get Fund, and decoupling the NHIL and education levy from the VAT computation. These new policies, among others, are expected to cause some legal issues. But Mr. Ofori-Atta is optimistic alternative measures can be used to settle such disputes.
But clearly, once we begin to do this We're going to have quite a number of some of your clients sending us to court, and so we hope that the ADR mechanisms will be used effectively, and we did promise in the budget to institute alternative ways for resolving these, and we pray that will be
so that we do not do anything and then create any room like you wanted to suggest. Excuse me. No, because we had said that we are not going to absorb any additional cost of doing business, and that was what we were fighting against. You have sat down, you've seen that when you introduce the CTN, you are so confident in it, it's going to raise the values, the undervaluation that we are doing, and we are going to have so much. And you say that because of that, you are going to absorb the cost. It will be negligible.
On his part, CEO of the Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Senyo Hosi, maintained that government could block revenue leakages in the tax system if attention is paid to the petroleum downstream sector.
I think the government is trying to translate the president's call on us to stop being spectators and us being citizens. So we should participate in the entire process. I mean, the taxes are paid by the private sector significantly, and also by every Ghanaian. And we have a policy interest in this structure and its administration to ensure it's effective. So having this tax dialogue helps us identify loopholes, share perspectives with governments, and better deepen the impact of the policies that government puts out, and make sure it has a proper balance between the effectiveness and efficiency of the private sector as well as meeting government's policy requirements.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard. My name is Bobie Osei. When we return after the break, yes, Tullow Oil is yet to decide whether to appeal the over $254 million fine awarded in favor of Seadrill. We'll bring you more details when we return.
Good evening, this is The Point of View. We're live on City TV.
Tune in to The Point of View, Mondays and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. as Bernard Avlet takes the news further. He will bring the right guests, ask them the relevant questions, and get you the real insights you need on the big stories for the day.
We need taxes to run the economy. How do you do it sensibly and have the least pernicious effect in terms of cascading through the economy? And I think that is the thinking that is required. It's not a denial that we need taxes, and I think that is the difference in the two administrations.
The Point of View with Bernard Avlet, Monday and Wednesday nights, only on City TV.
Go.
Spend 30 minutes every weekday catching up with all the trending social media conversations of the day. If you tweet it, we'll read it. We might just even Skype you.
Sometimes I feel, when we are all humans. When somebody says something about me, no, I might want to say something.
Yeah.
So, but when I say it, people shouldn't take it like taking things, personal and stuff. I've understood showbiz now, and I really want to work on it like that.
30 minutes is all it takes, so use the hashtag 30minutes on social media to catch our attention. Join the most interactive social media TV show weekdays at 5 p.m. only on City TV.
Hello, it's good to have you back on the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobi Osei. Let's bring you some more stories. Now, a Deputy Finance Minister, Kweku Kwarteng, has hinted that government will engage and also convince all relevant stakeholders in the country before it makes any attempt to tax mobile money. Telecom industry analysts have opposed the move, saying it will prevent more people from being captured in the financial inclusion space. And although Mr. Kwarteng admits to the shortfall in revenue, which stood at 1.4 billion cedis as at May this year, he believes any attempt to introduce more taxes shouldn't overburden the private sector. He was speaking at a mobile money stakeholder program organized by MTN.
Urging the government to put on hold its plan to tax mobile money transactions have come from telecom players, fintech operators, as well as sections of the general public. The minority in Parliament had earlier predicted of the imposition of the tax in the mid-year budget review, but this was conspicuously missing in the presentation by the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Now speaking at MTN stakeholders meeting on mobile money transactions, the General Manager of Mobile Financial Services at MTN, Eli Hene, stressed that the government must be cautious in pushing the agenda of additional taxes.
The innovations that has come in to try and deepen, today you can take a loan with your wallet because of partnership with the financial institutions. You can sign up for a savings product. You can invest in treasury bills. You can also sign up for your future by putting some money aside, and mainly for the informal sector. This is what we are talking about. And financial inclusion is all about driving penetration into the informal sector. And so for these people now having an opportunity to be able to participate, for me, is important, and far more important for us into the future than trying to make immediate gains today from taxes.
Already, mobile money operations are subjected to taxes such as corporate income tax paid by mobile money as a corporate entity at MTN. Again, activities with agents earn fees or service charges. Now, for the first 6 months of this year, the total value of mobile money transactions hit 104 billion cedis. This is almost double the 68 billion cedis recorded in the same period between January and June 2017. Reacting to the issues, however, the Deputy Minister of Finance, Kweku Kwarteng, stressed that the government is yet to make a decision on whether or not to impose additional taxes on mobile money transactions.
It is politically easier for government not to increase taxes. It is politically easier, and especially for this administration that believes we ought to charge as few taxes as possible and to support the private sector as much as we can. It would have been easier to just say we will not tax. We will allow the private sector to have the freedom to hold their own money, to expand the economy, to expand their businesses and within the economy, and then the benefits will come to us. It would have been very easier to do that, and we would have lived true to our image as a government that would not seek to impose taxes.
Also staying with mobile money, the total value of transactions in Ghana hit 104 billion cedis for the first half of 2018. Now, this is almost double the 68 billion cedis recorded in the same period between January and June 2017. Now, according to the Bank of Ghana, the volume of mobile money transactions also witnessed a 52% growth for the same period. Now, there's more on the growth of the mobile money platform in this City Business News Desk report.
Between the first half of 2017 and the first half of 2018, the total value of mobile money transactions shot up significantly from 68.2 billion Ghana cedis to 104.6 billion Ghana cedis. From the 428 million recorded in the first half of 2017 to 655 million recorded from January to June this year. This represents a growth rate of 52.86%. According to the data from the central bank, the number of registered mobile money agents increased from 153,000 in the first half of 2017 to 316,000 in the first half of 2018, showing a 106% growth in the number of people who joined the business as agents.
Well, away from mobile money, let's touch on energy. Now, managers of Esla PLC have transferred a total of 518 million cedis from the Debt Service Reserve Account Bank to the Paying Bank. According to Esla, this is to assure the investors that they will receive their interest payments in November as scheduled. Now, this will be the second time that Esla PLC is making payments to investors after issuing the energy bond last year. There is more on Esla's statement in this report.
Esla PLC announces to holders of the Esla 2024 and 2027 bonds the transfer of approximately 227.4 million cedis. This represents net interest due to tranche E1 bondholders. Similarly, an amount of approximately 290.6 million cedis representing net interest due to tranche E2 bondholders has also been transferred. According to Esla, this is in accordance with the terms of the bond prospectus, which states that disbursements for repayments will be made from the DSRA by the DSRA Bank to the trust accounts of the Paying Bank from the 90th calendar day before any interest payments dates. Meanwhile, amounts received into Esla accounts is estimated at 1 billion cedis. Esla also says the board and management team continue to monitor market activities and further issuances will be announced subject to favorable market conditions.
Well, still staying with energy, Tullow Oil is yet to decide on whether or not it will make an appeal over its $254 million fine in favor of Seadrill. The oil company lost the case last month when a London court ruled that its decision to abrogate a contract with Seadrill in 2016 was not legitimate. The company has agreed to comply with the terms, but the director in charge of external affairs and social performance at Tullow, Cynthia Lumo, tells the Business News the next move is yet to be taken.
Well, the decision was made. It went against us. We have to decide whether we want to appeal or not. And because it's not closed, I can't go into any detail because it's, like I said, it's a live case. We have to make the decision. We are in the process of trying to make the decision. So if and when we can, we will.
You're still watching the Business Dashboard on City TV. My name is Bobby Osei. We are going for a break. When we get back, the latest business stories from the international front.
Live music, interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV.